This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1110, and it's the Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, it's Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
What up, though?
Just down the road there, our managing editor downtown, Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, and Marty is on an airplane right now, so he's not going to be joining us on today's show. So
he can use the Wi-Fi.
All right.
I don't think we want to hear that.
What's the excuse? I want to see what people around him would, like if he's just talking full volume on a podcast, on an airplane,
That actually would be pretty interesting. And like, do you want some pretzels?
There's enough, I feel like for a while there was like a lot of gimmick podcasts. I feel like that's tacked back a little, you know what I mean? But
what do you mean?
Yeah.
It would be like, like Smartless is an example of like gimmick podcasts. It's like 3 hosts and one of them brings a guest but doesn't tell the other host who the guest is, so they have to prepare. Or it was like Pete Holmes, like back in the day, it was like, you made it weird. And it was like, all right, tell me how so-and-so, you make it weird. You know what I mean? There was always some little gimmick, or it's like, this is us in the back of a tour van or whatever, right?
Right.
There was never an airplane pod, where I feel like AirPod. That's a great name for a podcast. And it's people conducting interviews to who they're sitting next to on an airplane. Why hasn't that happened?
It'd be a great way to fall asleep because of all the white noise that would be just baked into it.
Right, exactly.
Well, what I'm saying is, imagine a podcast where you take a cross-country flight and you're like, all right, I'm going to interview for the entirety of the flight the person I randomly get assigned next to.
That would be my
AirPod.
actual hell.
AirPod.
My literal hell.
You're welcome.
Sitting next to that podcaster.
iHeartRadio, whoever, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Golly. You just sit
That
down
would
in your
be
seat.
as bad as the
buckle
guy
up.
that's turning people in for the carts, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
Cameron,
that
you would
level
Finding
of...
content.
put the light on and request, I have got to be moved to a different seat. You need to.
Yeah, ma'am.
do
I'm sorry.
something.
This person with the microphone and headphones is, I think they're plotting to interview me. I need to move.
I am planning on an interview, but first I'm going to tell you about BarkBox. BarkBox, ladies and gentlemen. Use offer code AirPod1. 15% off. Anyway, so where are you headed today? Guess you're at the same place I am. All right,
Yeah,
so
same. We're going to the same city, obviously.
Why are you going there? That's what I always want to know when I'm on planes is because I'll take them a lot of times at night on weekend or on weeknights because I'm just cheap and that's when they're cheapest.
Heck yeah,
You're
5
heard.
a.m.
And there's
Let's
a part
go.
of me that's like,
heard.
okay, I know why I'm flying to Houston at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night. Why are you flying to Houston at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night? Like, what's going on here? I'll give you that for AirPod. That's what I want to know.
Well, my sister just had a miscarriage.
Cameron.
Scratch, delete, delete.
It's like, you can't. I don't want to know why you're
I
traveling to
do.
Houston
I
on a
do.
Wednesday.
I
I
would
get it. I
listen.
get it. He picked the most extreme thing he could think.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my
Oh, sorry. I was just looking for some friendly banter. Sorry.
I
it
won the
didn't-
lottery and I'm going to collect my winnings. All right, let's talk.
Oh,
yeah, I'm
okay,
just saying,
yeah.
Can I get
Yeah.
20
Because-
bucks? Yeah.
most people, Emily, to your point, most people are traveling to do something interesting, whether that's pleasant or unpleasant. They're usually taking
true.
the time to board a plane, spend all this money because they're doing something somewhat interesting. No one just
Like Marty, he's flying back from Nashville to LA right now because he was just performing
you
at the
were the
Dove
ho-
Awards and he had a showcase and he didn't win any awards and just the whole thing. It would have been a great conversation.
That's what
to
I'm
sit
saying.
next
If
to
you're
him.
the host
Yeah.
of AirPod, that's the kind of person you're
AirPod.
dying to get
This is
seated
fact.
next to.
This is fact.
This is a great idea. I'm actually going to pitch this to an airline. It's,
to an airline presented by Delta. Come fly Delta, where you will be hounded by somebody trying to talk to you for the entire
Jesse,
flight.
just give me my 5%, bro. Just give me my 5%.
For
I just
what,
need my
Derek?
5.
You didn't do anything.
I came up with the idea.
He's part of it. Absolutely.
Wait, we need to
Yeah,
run this
okay,
back.
but-
I think Jesse came up with the
Run
idea.
it back. I said he could do the podcast on the plane.
On the plane. That's
true.
what. That's
You know,
right.
okay.
And he said yes.
Wait, yeah, you're right. You're
Don't-
right.
don't
Okay.
worry.
You're gonna
Emily,
get
this is how musicians do writing sessions. So like you're there, you're all. It's like a big pot of stew. You're all part of it, and at the end of it, Derek will divvy up credit. Here's 12% to you, 8% to you. Here's your 5.
So I didn't build it out. So I just want my 5,
Five, right.
for originating the idea. I just want
Can
5.
I get 5 for supporting it?
Hey, but it's like that in the writing rooms a lot.
I've heard this about Derek too. That Derek is very fair with the credit percentages and stuff. So it's like him asking for 5. He's doing Jesse a solid, saying I'll just take my 5, even though I was originating the entire concept. But
hey, I just look. He built it out. He go do the work. He go. You look. An idea's an idea, but you still got to build it out. That's why I'm like, I don't want to build it out. I just want 5 for just saying, hey, let's do this.
There's more than enough BarkBox money to go around. Okay, we'll all get our piece. All right. So just producers of the world, let us know. Speaking of songwriting credits, real quick transition.
Speaking of, nice.
Drake released his new album, and it was big news everywhere. But it was particularly
first track, Virginia Beach.
Written
about
Beach. There were like it led local news, and like there was a story in the paper about it. Even though like.
Oh, it's lit.
Hometown pride, man.
Hometown pride, because everyone thought like it was like because he released the track list like a couple days before the album came out. So, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, Virginia Beach, the city where I live, is the name of the first." Everyone thought it was going to be like a diss track because he's feuded with
Pharrell and Clips
and all the people from here. But really, it's only one line, and it was sort of it was worse than a diss track, because at least with a diss track, it's like like
we're in your head enough that you're putting a whole track together.
We're rent free. Our humble town is rent free in Drake's head. Instead, it was just like it was pretty but ghetto, pretty but rough. Like Virginia Beach, and it was like, well, that's even worse, man. Why do you have to couch it pretty? But what does that even mean? What are you insinuating?
You have a beach.
Virginia Beach is very pretty but ghetto, bro. Like it is like that, bro.
Like I said, that is a slap in the face.
Jesse,
pretty but rough.
On your beachfront are stores that predominantly sell like velvet shorty shorts with the Chick-fil-A logo on the butt, but it says thick filet.
That's only on the south end of the beach.
You tell me that the town that sells thick filet merch is not.
I need some of them for my wife. Hey, look, we gonna get them for Amithia, baby. I need the thick filet shorts, baby.
Derek, the building I'm sitting in right now is literally physically connected to a shop that sells those. Cameron's
thick filet merch.
Jesse, buy me some, bro. And just sit on my way.
Jesse walking in on his lunch hour buying thick filet shorty shorts.
They wouldn't even. They'd be like, hey.
Me and wifey headed out of town next week. I forgot to tell y'all this. We going out of town. We going out the country. So I need the thick filet shorts.
All right,
Derek,
if you would really like some, I could buy you that. And that's the least of the provocative apparel.
That's the one I could say and still keep our clean rating.
There's some very provocative apparel.
This is like me and Cohen road trip up there in the summers, and we were up there and we had Jesse's kids with us and stuff, and I was like, I got to get a funny shirt. I got the Virginia's for Lovers shirt last summer. I want to keep adding to my Virginia ironic merchandise.
Did you get a thick
and so
filet
Jesse's
shirt?
like, let me take, we can go to a shop. And he took me to a t-shirt shop, and I was like, it was all boring. It was like distressed Virginia Beach, looking like a college logo. No, just stupid stuff. I was like, I need something funny. He's like, well, we got to go down to the south part of the beach for that stuff. Jesse didn't even park. He just let us out.
Yeah,
so
I'm
it's
not parking
me
down
He can't
there.
be seen
and
down
two
there.
children. Me and 2 children. Going into these shops where they're selling a ton of weed paraphernalia, like thick filet merch, and a lot of stuff where those little boys became men. You know what I'm saying? Reading those T-shirts, they're like, what does that mean, Daddy?
But here's the thing. I don't feel like for Drake to label our whole town pretty but rough, pretty but ghetto, just because of one strip of hilarious T-shirt shops. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Federal booty inspector shorts are funny. What do you want?
FBI. Anyway,
I like it.
Well, congrats on your town shout out, man. I mean,
like I said, it was literally news here. I mean, it was in the paper.
Maybe it'll boost tourism. You never know.
I think
they're not struggling for tourism. They're good.
But the thing is, he could have said anything. Like I said, that is like a passive aggressive. It was like that episode of Always Sunny where Max tells Dennis that he never compliments him, and he's like, "Can you say one nice thing about me?" And Dennis's compliment was, "Your hair looks very small." Okay, there, I said something. It's like that. It's like
Drake. That's Drake to Virginia.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why you got to keep us up at night? Now you're rent free in our heads. But anyway,
I kind of can relate to that because a couple years ago, Drake put out a song called TSU, which I think was Texas State University, but like it was, but he listed a bunch of cities in Texas, and it was really weird the ones he listed because he said like Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, but he also said like Marshall and Prairie View and like Wharton County, which are not big cities at all.
Nah, Prairie View though, that's where the hood at. PVU.
Yeah, PVU.
That's the HBCU in there.
But it just was so funny to hear like Drake, this like one of the biggest rappers, Canadian, I might as well, just like talk about these random Texas cities because it was like, why are you talking about it? Like this is our place. What are you going to say about it? Like I was a little nervous. He didn't call us pretty or baguetto, but
what do y'all think about the new album? His new album? It's doing well numbers wise, but I'm noticing that some people love it and some people really hate it.
I think he's at the place where he's going to need to, well, he doesn't need to do anything because he's going to make so much money. But to keep the hip hop respect, if that even matters to him, I think he's going to have to diversify his content a little bit. In a sense, the hard thing for, I think, Drake, I think Kanye has the same problem as well, is they have changed music so many times that you just expect them to do it every time. And I think that's the problem. Like he's making great albums. Like Drake is doing what Drake has been doing for the past 5 years, but that's the problem. People want Drake to change music again.
Yeah, but his last album was like more house, and then obviously he's had his, Afro beats and Caribbean albums, and he's,
right.
Even on this album, when he had that Bad Bunny track, he starts talking with a Spanish accent. I'm like, Drake, you are not Spanish. You are not Jamaican. You are not like, he leans so hard into that scene, that vibe, that he kind of personifies it, but it almost feels derivative. But I'm with you. I like it. I like it. I've listened to it quite a bit. It's one of those that it's background music. But like to me, he could have cut out 5 or 6 tracks and it would have been stronger. Less is more, buddy. Come on.
Yeah, I think he's at that place. He's at the LeBron James place of his career, where it's like it's not good enough for you to drop 30, 10, and 10 every night. You got to bring a championship home every night, or people are they're not gonna be happy because you've just spoiled them too much with great music. Like that's really the issue.
I kind of feel that way. Like I'm definitely more a fan of Drake's older stuff, and I would say really the last 5 years, it's been fine. Like I get why people still listen to it, but if I listen to Drake, I'm going back farther because it's like one, because I don't love the style he's in right now. And so, but he kind of keeps staying with it to an extent. And I'm like, okay, well, he'll do something new eventually. I know, like, just because he kind of has done that for a long time in his career.
He has a gap coming up. Did you hear what he said? He just finished this world tour. Something? Yeah, he's like, he's going to take a year plus, a minimum of a year off of music, touring, everything for his health, mental health, physical health. He's like, I just got to go and shut out. That's going to be, when he comes back from that,
it's a wrap.
That album it's going to be
a wrap.
Yeah,
it's a wrap. I didn't know that. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah, there is.
He's just exhausted. He's spread too thin. He's just like.
I mean, he's been going for years. Like
right. Yeah. That's the thing, and I think the music is reflecting that. It's like you gotta think of an album. How you put an album together. You can't have hit. You got to have ballads. You got to make it breathe. His career is kind of like that. He's put out so many albums. They're just kind of like blended into each other. We don't remember one from the other. If creating a gap will create, it's the Star Wars situation. When Disney bought Star Wars, it was like too much Star Wars product came out. There was like 3 movies in 1 year at one point. And instead of it being an event when a Star Wars thing came out, it just numbers started to drop, got diluted. I feel like Drake's kind of diluted himself with volume. I love the vibe, but I'm excited to see what happens on the other side of him getting rest,
Yeah, because there's like that creative risk aversion that kind of comes in where it's just you kind of repeat what works to the point where it's like, all right, let's hear something fresh. So yeah, I think usually time away for any artist results in some fresh inspiration.
Or culture moves on, forget about you. I don't think that'll happen with Drake.
Culture ain't gonna forget about Drake.
Yeah, no, I know.
He's a staple. That's like saying culture's gonna forget about Michael Jackson. It's like, nah, they waiting.
Did you see he tied MJ for most number ones? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I think also a thing that makes being innovative in this era hard is because people don't look at music as art. It's just content to be consumed, right? Think about it. Me and No Big Deal was talking about this yesterday. That imagine trying to promote Kanye's College Dropout in this environment. You wouldn't even get past the skit. Like, I got 15 seconds to win your approval. Yeah. Like those early albums, College Dropout, Late Registration, they were literally movies that you had to sit down and you had to consume them. But people, they treat music, especially rap music, as so disposable that it doesn't lead to innovation. It doesn't lead to innovation. So I'm hoping that the album becomes relevant again. That allows artists to just take their time and spread their wings with their art. And then you'll start getting less of the disposable art. I mean, that's my opinion.
Well, because right now, like, you put out an album, and what's going to happen is a track will get picked up on playlists or whatever, and then that's people experiencing your new album is that one track that like gets spread or whatever. They're not going to go sit down, listen to the album with intentionality like it used to be. Think about Lauryn Hill's album skits throughout it. Think about the Fugees. Think about, it was a thing. I always hated the skit. Yeah. I hated the skit tracks because on my CD player you'd have to hit next, but. I get it.
But even like to the point, like, would an album like Kid A work today? Because it's the same thing. Right. If you listen to any of those songs in a vacuum, some of them don't even make sense without the context of not just the narrative of the album or OK Computer or what either of those Radiohead albums.
Early Arcade Fire
but they bleed. Like, because same thing with some of those Kanye albums. A lot of those tracks bleed into each other. They're not like separate songs. They are chapters in kind of a book almost.
They're movies. They're audio movies. Like, that's legitimately that. So I think just the idea that you have to win someone's approval in 15 seconds. Right. Like, only thing I've really seen from the Drake album on social media is just there's a skit running with Yeet and Drake doing like an ad lib on a Yeet verse. And them making fun of Drake sounding really weird and it's like, that's it. For some people, that's the most experience with the album. You don't get to experience all of the art behind it. So I hope that we turn in the corner. I think, everything is cyclical. So I think the next generation coming up is going to want something a little bit more deep. Else. They just don't know they want it yet.
Yeah.
That's right.
Somebody has to be brave enough in that world to say, you know what, I'm not giving y'all 15 seconds of content. I'm giving you a whole album. Come get it. And then it'll change everything.
I remember on the last Arcade Fire, they'll write 7-minute songs, pretty consistently. And that's the point, is like, it's supposed to kind of wash over you. You spend time with it. It builds. It's art, right? And I remember when they released their last album, the one single they put out was a 7-minute track, and they had to split it into part 1 and part 2 because nobody listens to a 7-minute Arcade Fire song anymore. So they had to do 2 3-minute songs. So one of them could get picked up or put on a playlist or whatever. It's just like, changes the art, right? The way people are consuming it changes the art itself. So hopefully, I agree with you. I'm hoping that like this generation will say, I'm tired of disposable. I want something deeper, better. And then they'll go back to the artistry of music. So.
Go ahead, Emily.
Well, I was going to say, I do think like the next generation is moving towards that, because I remember a couple years ago just being like shocked because I stumbled upon like a Twitter thread, and it was a lot of younger people that were on, like Gen Z, and they were talking about how when a new album comes out, they'll hit shuffle on it, like on Spotify, and they'll just listen to it in a random order. And someone was like coming in being like, you should actually listen to it in the track list order. Like, there's a reason artists did that. And I saw that come up again because I'm sure y'all listened to it. Olivia Rodrigo had a new album come out last month. And between her first and second song, like the way that it transitioned is there's like an intentional sort of flow, like the way the song ends flows into the next song. And people, specifically younger like listeners were like freaking out about it, saying that's so cool, she did that, that's awesome, like all this stuff. And I was like, that's
a crossfade.
Yeah, I was like, that's a very common thing in songs.
Yeah.
But it's like I think there's just something with younger listeners, like they, like you said, like they listen to one song in a playlist and they'll just jump to that song on an album, maybe listen to a few others, but they're on shuffle. They don't get like the full.
Or they'll even just look at like the play numbers on the album.
Yeah.
So okay, there's 3 tracks on this album that are popular. I'll listen to those 3.
Right. And so they
and
miss
don't even
the flow
listen
of
to
the
other
story.
ones.
And I do think that they're finally realizing like, oh, maybe the artist made this track list intentionally and I should maybe listen to it the whole way through. Right. So I think we're getting there. It's just taking a while. They'll get there.
The irony is, though, the other major form of like media consumption, like television, has gone the opposite way, where it used to be like, you know, especially with like syndication or whatever, you just turn on the TV and there's a random episode of a show. You can just think, I'm going to jump right in here. No one today's like, I'm just going to fire up a random Stranger Things, just right in the middle. And it's like, why no one consumes television like that, where it used to be not a big deal. You could turn on the TV and whatever episode.
Well, it depends on the genre.
Wow,
I mean, like,
that's crazy. That
comedy. I mean, The
insane.
Office you could watch in order. I mean, you know.
But there were like for a lot of series, every episode was a bottle episode. You could turn on any NCIS or Law and Order and just enjoy it for what it is. They don't really make shows like that really anymore, you know, outside of.
What's interesting about that is the number 1 show on streaming
Suits.
by far is Suits, which is bottle episode, exactly what we're talking about. You can just jump in wherever.
I was watching Suits because I never watched it when it was popular.
Right.
And I just saw it. I was like, oh, Suits. You know, I was like, let me check this out. And I realized, I'm like, there's a resolution at the end of every episode. And it felt almost, it was jarring because watching a show that resolves after every episode feels crazy when you spent years watching shows that don't resolve until the end of the season.
Maybe.
Right.
And you're like, you know what I'm saying? Like it feels, it
maybe.
was off-putting.
There might be a cliffhanger,
Yeah, it was off-putting. Like, man, why does this thing keep resolving? And that makes sense because it was written during a time when you don't know when you're stepping into the series. So they had to win your trust every week. Yeah.
And even like the plot lines that maybe go a few longer episodes, those typically are resolved within maybe a handful of episodes. Like it's not like a season long issue or that they're fighting or something.
Yeah, there's not a through line where there's this thing that you're watching them come to a pinnacle. It's like, nah, if there's a bad thing that happened, you might get 2 episodes out of that. The problem set up in the first one, second episode, it's resolved, and then now we're going to fight another bad guy. What they call him, bad guy of the week.
Monster of the week. Yeah, exactly.
Monster of the week.
I mean, there was I remember like there were some episodes, there were some series that tried to thread that needle, like back in the day, like Scandal, like the height of when that show was doing kind of interesting things. It started off as a procedural.
Seasons after that.
Yeah, but after that, because it moved into like this long story arc over the course of a season about these conspiracies, that it lost the procedural. Like there was no, what case are we solving this week? Or are we lawyer or fixing or whatever, you know? It's just interesting, especially the juxtaposition in music where everything is a bottle episode. Every song is isolated from a larger narrative, where now all of TV seems tied to these big narratives where you kind of have to start from the beginning, you know?
I mean, it's interesting. Our guest today is Brooke Ligertwood, who has a new album out today. But it's interesting thinking about the worship genre too. Like a worship album, you would think would be like an intentional experience, but so much of the modern worship scene is like individual songs that we hope to get on the radio or get sung in churches, and they aren't connected to the rest of the album. It's just a whole bunch of songs. It's just a collection of songs. You know, interesting. Each genre kind of has evolved.
Yeah. For sure.
Anyway, all right. Well, like I said, Brooke is coming up later. We also have your feedback at the end of the show, but stay tuned. Up next, it's Love and Buzz.
So, how did I get so lucky? Hand in hand in second hands, the fool, you look so lovely. You're my diamante in the rough, and you never fussy. Love that you love building up, and let's try on another. My op shop lover.
You're listening to Grant Perez. The song is Op Shop Lover. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant. Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
All right, tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week, Emily.
Okay, I'm so excited to talk about this. We're going to talk about Lana Del Rey today. Recently, a Christian influencer named Tracy Costin posted this video accusing Lana of using witchcraft in her career and like at her show.
Wait, why?
And the video it's intentional.
It's kind of gnarly for real.
Well,
bro.
so
you talking about the video of the people falling?
yeah, so it
was kind of gnarly.
yeah,
though.
people are like falling over. I will say it is dark and it's hard to see exactly what's happening. It could easily be dehydration. It could be a mosh pit gone wrong.
Wait, describe what's going on for those
yeah.
who haven't seen it. Like, what's going on?
Okay, so yeah, the video, it's a show that Lana is headlining at. I believe it's in Mexico. And she's just singing on stage, and then all of a sudden there is
Night or day?
It's
Is
night,
it
it's
outside?
night.
Okay.
It's a pretty big crowd, and then all of a sudden there is a moment where there's just a lot of people that kind of fall over, and it's unexplained. And the videos I've seen, like, they don't go on very long, so it's hard to piece together what led to this and what happened exactly after. But you can see.
When you say a lot of people, is it 4 people in the front row fell over?
would
Is
say-
it half the crowd?
No, it's a good chunk. I would say maybe 50 people probably like fall over.
Fell over. Did she say or do anything to that? Then this happened.
Well, I've been trying to find. I haven't found a clip where she acknowledges it, because I do think a lot of people maybe cut quickly. Because I was trying to find like different angles and stuff. So that's the hard part, is no one really knows exactly what happened or why. And like, I have been, you know me, I'm a researcher. I've been trying to figure out what's happening. But this Christian influencer, she came to this conclusion, and she didn't really give a lot of great evidence other than her personal perception. But she thinks that witchcraft was used, and she made this whole video about how Lana is a witch and like puts spells on her music, and that's why people listen to them.
She goes to Judas Church in LA.
Here's what I've learned about the internet. When someone has minimal evidence but a wild, unconfirmed theory, it's best just to assume they know what they're talking about, no matter how sensational it is. That never is wrong. That is never wrong.
Like Jesse and I have been to enough major concerts to know that usually in the crowd there is a person who brought party favors for all the people around them. And they hand out the party favors, or at least offer the party favors,
the confetti,
to help their newfound friends to better enjoy the music experience. We're talking about a concert in the summer in Mexico, and people are falling over near each other. I'm wondering if there were some party favors being shared. I don't know.
And the other thing too is like, okay,
Jerry Blackwater.
Yeah. The other thing too is like when people ascribe these like supernatural powers to just like average pot. So you're telling me she has the power to just like, somehow have some sort of spell cast and just mow down crowds of people, and the path she's chosen in life is to be a pop singer. If she has this X-Men's supernatural witch power that she can just mow down crowds with like Hadoukens, like Street Fighter style, you're gonna be.
She was working at Waffle House for a week this summer. You know what I mean? Like, she's not.
Man, you know what? This is what I've realized, bro. Or for me, a lot of Christians live in a episode of Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? Like just in their mind, anything that's unexplained is just
gotta be a witch.
It's the Guggenheim. Like it can't be dehydration. It can't be anything. If you see it in 15 seconds, it's not like it can't be video editing or anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not good. It's not good that your brain defaults past logic. Now, here's the thing. Do I believe in the spiritual? I do believe in the spiritual. Do I believe that there are things that are unexplained that we have to just attribute to spirituality? Yes. But do I believe that anything that I don't understand, I should initially default to not using my logic and using spiritual tropes? And what it does is it really, in my opinion, it's like the boy who cried wolf. Mm-hmm. That's like, you cry about these things. Everything is a demon. Everything is a spiritual experience. So when there's actually a spiritual experience, nobody's going to believe you. Like, they're never going to believe you. And you're just going to be a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
Lana is a professing Christian. She goes to Judah Smith's church. We know this for a fact because she recorded his sermon one Wednesday night and put it on her album.
Yeah, 4.5 minute interlude.
So I've been to enough Benny Hinn crusades to know that a group of people falling down all at once may not be witchcraft.
It could be the Holy Spirit. We don't know.
Maybe the Holy Spirit or dehydration. One or the other.
But Derek, to your point, I do think the internet has created like a crowd of people that you could do the opposite of Occam's razor. Like Occam's razor is the old, like, in journalism school, you always learn the always start with the most simple solution, and it's probably that.
Exactly.
Right? Like always default to what is the most rational, simplest solution, and then start disproving from there. Not let's take the most insane idea ever that she's an actual warlock who has superpowers that no one else has, and that she randomly unleashes them at concerts in Mexico sometimes. It just doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, to me, if she's Gandalfing people in the front row,
bro, if I can do that, I'm going to be an assassin. You're going to make a whole lot more money.
Or you'll be Benny Hinn. One or the other. Benny Hinn's the other option.
Well,
you're an assassin or you're an evangelist.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Just to put this out there, Lana did clarify that she's not a witch because she did respond to the comment, which the comments have been turned off.
She responded to the Christian influencer.
She did post on the video. I'm going to slightly censor it for little ears. She said, bleep, I know the Bible verse for verse better than you do, so you're giving off super gremlin energy, not in a good way. Which I don't really know how you can give off gremlin energy in a good way.
You know who knows about gremlins?
And trust me, from someone who knows gremlin energy, this is gremlin energy.
All right. What else you got?
Okay.
I'd love to get her on AirPod and really, I just got to find her travel schedule and
just sidle up.
Hopefully just buy a bunch of seats and we'll see.
Maybe she's flying Spirit. Get it? Anyway.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Derek, for giving me that pity laugh.
I got you. Good.
I do believe
I'm laugh at everything because I
do believe witches and warlocks run Spirit Airlines. I do believe that. That is true.
The evil forces, certainly.
The evil forces definitely run Spirit Airlines.
Oh, I know who's not buying AirPod. Thanks a lot, Cameron. Now they're no.
That sponsorship gone.
Might as well just call it Dark Spirit Airlines. Yeah.
It's over.
All right. What else do you have?
All right. Well, it's October, it's Halloween, start of fall, but apparently it's also the month of Nate Bargatze. Last week we talked about
Bargatze.
Bargatze.
He on the Tonight Show to Jimmy Fallon's face, as Jimmy Fallon, who's a big fan of Nate's, was calling him Nate Bargatze. Nate goes, my family calls it Bargatze. Now, my family may be wrong. You can call me Bargatze. It's fine. But just my name's actually Nate Bargatze. And it was he did this like after Jimmy was talking about like, oh, we're such good friends now. We've been spending so much time together. And Nate's like, yeah, but you've always said my name wrong, buddy. So it's Bargatze.
Okay,
so,
that's amazing.
All right, this is Brooke Ligertwood all over again for me.
Well, we'll get to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Listeners, I said Brooke Ligertwood's coming up. You're probably like, who's Brooke Ligertwood? Because for 10 years you have been telling us about Brooke Ligertwood. We found out I have been saying her name wrong.
I feel like at some point
I feel so bad. I've spent so much time with her. She's amazing.
I did apologize for always saying her name wrong because I finally said it right because her team was very nice and sent over like the pronunciation of it.
Phonetic.
And she was like, oh, everyone says it wrong. Like I feel like she got more excited that someone actually said it right for the first time. So
You know, when I found out it was about, you and I have kind of wrestled with and talked about the pronunciation of her name. I mean, we're not fully confident that it was
You
like
didn't
her
want to
word.
just
You know what I
call
mean?
her?
Too much
It
work.
feels it's like the Fallon bar. I've known her for 15 years. I don't. Oh, by the way, what is your name? You know what I mean? Like I can't do that. So anyway, Emily and I have talked about it. Dude, I saw her post a video on Instagram, and she was like, and then just go and pre-order my album and put in promo code Brooke Ligertwood. And I was like, oh, and I sent the video to Emily. I'm like, we have confirmation of how to say her name because she actually said it.
Nah, Cameron, why didn't you just call her, bro?
Dude, stubbornness, man. Embarrassment. I don't know.
It's true.
It's like when you have a neighbor,
True.
there's a window of time that goes by after
Where you
you
can
talk
ask
to
their
that
name.
neighbor. And and you've forgotten the name. Now you still talk to them.
1,000%.
You still have quick driveway convos. But
Right.
The point of no return for asking directly for their name has passed. You better hope a piece of mail
what's the
falls
window?
out.
I
What's
think
the
you
window?
got to give last names an exception, though.
Last names,
name,
I
like
agree.
first name, last name's an exception. That's what I'm saying.
Dude, when I first moved into this neighborhood, I met several neighbors. They wanted to come over and see who took over that house, and I you get their names, and like you said, like I made the mistake of not writing them down on my phone, and now they know my name because they only had to learn one new name. I had to learn 15, and I didn't remember anybody's. And I'm telling you, I've lived here for 5 years now. I was walking my dog a couple months ago, and a neighbor that I see all the time was walking his dog, and he said, "Hey, Cameron, hey." He goes, and he just looks at me stone dead in the eyes, and he goes, "What's my name?" And I'm like, "I'm so sorry."
Were you like,
gotta-
good one,
I-
Chief?
Oh, you.
He goes, "It's Peter, Cameron. My name's Peter." And I was like, at the second he was out of sight, I was like writing it down on my phone. I was like, dude, at the end of the road, and that's Peter. Oh man, I felt so bad.
That's I ain't gonna even lie. I'm terrible with names, y'all. Just forgive me, bro. Like everybody that knows me, just know more than likely if I'm calling you bruh, it's a 50-50 chance that I don't have no clue what your name is.
I had someone forget.
So I'm letting it be known right now.
I had someone forget my name once, and they were trying to play it off like they knew my
And
name.
it was the third date. It was the third date, and he'd forgotten your name.
No.
They were trying to play it off like they knew my name. They just didn't know how to spell it because they asked me like, "Hey, how do you spell your name again?" And I was like, Emily Brown. The incredibly normal way to spell Emily Brown. And I was like, you just forgot my name. Like, it's a good trick to work if your name is not the most basic name on this planet.
Yeah, it's like
You should have been like, how do you think it's
gotta be
spelled?
illiterate.
Yeah. But like,
tell me.
I felt bad because I was like, they didn't want to just directly ask me, or just directly say that they forgot my name. But it was like, you thought you were
You
being
ain't want to
clever.
throw him a bone, Emily. You ain't want to throw him a bone. You just was like, no, not today.
Not today.
Sadie.
I was feeling
It's
sassy
over.
that
Okay,
day.
so tell me how I'm supposed to get my neighbors' names because my neighborhood is a mid-century houses and stuff, and we have the slots on the door for the mail. So we don't have mailboxes.
This one's easy. This
So I
one's
can't go
easy.
steal mail. I can't look in the
You
mailbox.
have to have someone with you. You could have Cohen or like
Yeah,
a friend
yeah.
over.
Oh,
and you're
it's my
like,
son Cohen.
Hey, this is,
Right.
and then let them get the introduction. I've done that move at like,
You use your kids
dinner-
often for that?
No,
make-
but if I'm at
But
like,
they know Cohen too at this point. They're like, "Hey, Cohen, hey, Karen."
But
You know what I'm
if
saying? So it's like,
if I'm at like a professional party type of situation, it's like, I got to remember that guy. Dana, come over here. Hey, I'd like you to meet my wife, Dana. You know what I mean? And she knows what's
so
happening.
you're saying I need to get married or a girlfriend to be able to learn my neighbors' names?
I think that's probably should be
my
your
God.
chief motivation from here. Is that's the
That's my
only
chief
path
motivation.
to non-awkwardly
Not
learning their
loneliness
name.
and
I mean
yeah,
that's
just-
beneficial. That
Yeah.
but it could also help with Peter's friends.
I like it. All right. I'm sorry. What was the update, Emily?
We're talking about Nate
Bargatze. Nate Bargatze.
Nate Bargatze. Last week we talked about his new production company he's starting, but just this week it was announced he's going to be hosting the Halloween episode of SNL, which is crazy.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
So
Good for
That's
him.
dope. Good for him. Good for him.
it's the October 28th
Jesse, I know we've told this story a million times. I'm not going to rehash it, but I still, back in my mind, I need to take credit for his success. Like that we found him at South by Southwest and platformed him outside of his little
He told
stand-up
us
circles.
that after that interview, he got asked about it all the time. So I think he owes us his success.
5%. We just want 5%. That's all.
I was going to say 90, but we'll take 5. We'll take 5.
He writes the jokes.
If we can just get a
We
mention
just
in the SNL
told people
monologue.
A lot of
about
people
the
write jokes.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, Yeah, I think it's.
Y'all got to work on y'all splits.
I wonder if Nate wants a part of this AirPod for his new family-friendly network. I'm shopping this around to everyone.
I love it, AirPod. So he's doing SNL. We mentioned a week ago he's launching a new production company, Nateland, and he's doing shows and TV and a ton of stuff. Man, I'm so happy for him. He couldn't happen to a better dude.
It's really interesting too. After he posted about it on Instagram, I feel like I'm probably the only one that does this. I went to go look at the comments to see what other celebrities just like were excited for him, because I'm curious like who is a fan of him. And I was pleasantly surprised. He has just kind of a wide range of people who are also fans of him, like Adam Devine, who plays Kelvin on The Righteous Gemstones, Mariska Hargitay, she's Olivia Benson on Law and Order SVU, Jimmy Fallon, of course. Like it's a very interesting range of people.
It was really cool. See, my favorite was seeing on the post where Nate was saying, "Hey, by the way, I'm doing SNL." He's on a national arena tour right now. He's selling out arenas everywhere, and he had to cancel half a dozen dates to do SNL. And so he was saying, "I'm so sorry" on the video. Dustin Nickerson, who's another Christian comedian that we love, he commented and he said, "Yeah, Nate, I was opening for you on several of those dates that just got canceled, and I've never been happier to lose thousands of dollars." So good, congrats, buddy. So, I thought that was really cool.
And he's like, also, you owe me several $1,000s. Yeah.
Also, there's a kill fee, and I needed that money for my kids' tuition. So yeah.
It will be interesting to see him on SNL because I've never seen him act before. Like, I've only ever seen him do stand up. So I'm curious to see.
If you ever watched clips from his podcast and stuff, he's very soft-spoken and slow-moving kind of in how he banters with people. It's an interesting dynamic because the Nate on stage commands the stage. He's got a really good stage presence. It's still relatable. You feel like you're hanging out with a friend. But when he's in this ensemble podcast setup, he's not like the big personality that it revolves around. It'll be interesting to see him in an ensemble cast improv dynamic to see how he kind of his monologue will be fantastic
for sure.
You know that, but it'll be funny to see. My guess is probably a lot of cameos, like Tom Hanks showing up to do
David S.
Pumpkins, and things like that. I bet we'll come back.
I'm trying to think who Nate looks like too, to see who he could do impressions of. Like if there's anyone that he would be impersonating. I can't.
They're going to do a bunch of guys at the office or guys at the bar. They're going to do a lot of everyman type skits. I bet. But anyway, all right. What's the last thing?
The last thing is The Chosen. They're doing something really interesting for its upcoming 4th season. Every single episode is going to premiere in theaters before going to streaming. So starting in February, fans can watch like 2 to 3 new episodes each week in a theater. And then eventually it'll be on a million streaming platforms
after the fact.
But I've just never seen a TV series premiere their whole season in a theater.
Oh, they know them Christians about to pull up, boy.
No, I know. They'll rent them out.
They know them Christians about to pull up.
I mean,
if they drop them on a Wednesday too.
They did a couple of Chosen theater events in the past, and they did really well.
They did like the season premiere and the season finale of the last season. Yeah.
But every episode is crazy. Emily was telling me this, and it got me thinking about the movie theater industry. Like even what's happening literally right now with the Taylor Swift concert movies. It's selling out theaters. It made $100 million the opening weekend, but it's only airing on the weekends. It's only being in the theaters on the weekends because she said a lot of my fans are in school, and I don't want them to sit there on a school night watching a 3-hour concert, and they need to do their homework. So she said in her negotiation to release this to AMC, I'll only do it if you agree to do it on my release schedule. And they said, yeah, now they're missing or losing tens of millions of dollars having those other days not showing it, but they agreed. And I'm wondering if this and what The Chosen is doing is kind of, think about the box office since COVID. It's just been a lot of duds. Hollywood, as usual, has just not. I mean, there's been a few movies that have done very, very well, obviously, but in general, that old approach to going to the theater and watching movies is just over because I'll just wait and watch it on Max or something. And so it's interesting to me now that theaters are maybe leaning into content that they didn't in the past.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is going to set an example for like other shows. Think about back in the day. What if the Breaking Bad finale was exclusive in theaters first?
That would be
I would have been in line buying a ticket.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
been there for sure.
So I bet this will be a thing where like TV is going to start, and theaters will embrace it because this is revenue.
Yeah.
Found revenue that they didn't have otherwise, and then concert videos or concert. I'm just wondering if there's going to be other experiences. Obviously, those Fathom event things been happening for years, but this feels different. Like maybe television, music, and Hollywood movies are going to be theater experiences now. You know.
Well, I mean, there's theaters near, I don't know if it's like this in other cities as well, but that are doing like NFL games on Sunday afternoon. You can go and like, you know, for...
That would be amazing to watch a game on.
Well, especially like the cinema cafe types that where you can buy food and drinks and everything, where they'll have like, all right, we're going to, at the 1 o'clock, we're going to play a Steelers game, and 4 o'clock, we're going to do this. It's just a different way to experience football outside of like your house or a sports bar.
That's actually player, because the thing, when you think about it with the movies are, you know, you can watch them at the theater or at home. It's all good, you know. But being able to watch the big game with, you know, with, that's crazy.
It's almost
you know
like you're
what I mean?
there in
you
the
can't
crowd.
get it.
You know,
I don't care what kind of house you got. You ain't got a movie theater unless you balling. But the average everyman doesn't have. They're not able to see people on that level. So this is.
Yeah, it's
man,
cool.
It's
the
cool.
world is changing. It's cool. Yeah.
I know. I'm here for it. Like,
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll do it for
Relevant Buzz.
Make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every weekday where we're covering more stuff like that, covering the intersection of faith, culture, and everything in between. Thanks, Emily. All right, stay tuned. Up next, Brooke Ligertwood joins us.
Who? Oh, I gotcha.
That you might leave me. I feel like I'm still a child because I always cross my fingers. Now you're sitting in accounts because I'm too scared to take you out. Now save me. Because I just had a dream I was dead, and I only cared because I was taken from you. You're the only thing that I own. I hear my bell ring, I'd only answer for you.
You're listening to Pink Pantheress. The song is Mosquito. Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com. Well, our guest today is Brooke Ligertwood. She's one of our favorite worship artists who's helped create songs like What a Beautiful Name and Who You Say I Am. She's releasing her new solo album, 8, today. I hope it's her 8th album. That'd be weird. So we caught up with her to talk about the story behind the album and how she's still processing major life changes and how her solo career as Brooke Ligertwood compares to her former solo career as Brooke Frazier. Here's our conversation with Brooke Ligertwood.
In the blink of an eye and a trumpet sound, we will be changed by His supernatural power. So lift up your voice if I've called you to. While we're still here, we got work to do. Satan rolls around like a roaring lion, seeking to devour.
We're here today to talk about your new solo album, 8, which is coming out. I'm curious, is there a message or theme that ties this album together?
I think I don't know if there's one theme. I feel like when it comes to kind of putting together songs for an album, I mean, 7 was different because that was a project that came like in completion, like one song after another, and just blew my mind. That's still a complete miracle to me, that whole thing. But when it came to 8 and kind of choosing the songs that would be on this project, I kind of approached it like I would like a worship song list, and or a worship night, because it's longer than a song list. But wanting to kind of have a diversity of theme, making sure that I'm not necessarily repeating themes. So having a diversity of lyric, a diversity of kind of style or mood or texture. So really, there's definitely a few things I always want to make sure are included on an album, which are moments kind of for declaration, moments for celebration, moments for reflection, and moments for intercession. I think kind of, and those can all sound completely different, but I think we've kind of got that on this album. So there's songs about Christ coming. There's a song about Calvary. There's a song about celebrating, like blessing God through every circumstance. There's all of these different things. So I would say that there's not one theme, other than what I wanted to do was deliberately try and have a diversity of kind of biblical and scriptural theme in there, because there is more to know of the Lord than we could ever write in millions of songs. And so here's 10 that can be like a teeny tiny drop in a massive ocean. Yeah.
I will bring praise, I will bring praise. No weapon formed against me shall remain. I will rejoice, I will declare, God is my victory and He's here.
Yeah, I remember talking with you when you were putting out 7, and that was like seemed almost like a surprise album for you. Like you weren't really planning on it. So how does writing 8, or how does creating 8, how did that compare to like creating 7?
Super different. And I'm always so aware of, like, one of the things that really frightens me about like when I was kind of fully immersed in kind of my mainstream lane, like Brooke Fraser, one of the things that I was always like hesitant about, and a part of that was also immaturity that I didn't understand. Part of it was also pride that I thought that I knew things that I didn't know, like just being an idiot. But like just one thing that always concerned me about, I guess, doing a lot of talking about, and particularly when it comes to like kind of Christian or ministry spaces, is that sometimes it's so easy for us to use spiritual language just to load God's name on stuff. And I'm just always so aware of, I don't want to do that. I don't want to just use all these like kind of fluffy Christian words. And I give that kind of context for like when I was making 7 and then talking about it, I was just so aware of like, gosh, this just like sounds like I'm saying things, but it really was true in that, like, I really did not ever expect or desire to put out a project of songs of worship for the church with my name on it. In many ways, it was my worst nightmare. But when the Lord asks you to do something, He prepares you for it. He softens your heart, He changes things. And then in the case of 7, He spoke very clearly and very quickly, and I knew it was very time sensitive. And it was only, and so I said, of course, my husband and I were like, okay, yes, Lord, we hear you, we see you, yes. But we didn't necessarily understand, because I'm very happy, have always been happy, particularly, of course, when it comes to worship in the church, being part of a team. Like, that is my happiest spot, like being part of a team. And then it wasn't till after 7 came out and some really devastating things began to unfold in my church community that I was like, and I'm not saying this definitely wasn't the whole reason why, but I began to maybe understand why the Lord had started to lead us this way, which was, so I said in my Instagram stories the other day, like, it's a thought that leaves me so grateful for the shepherding of God, but also really sad. Like I wish that this is not the dream, you know. I love being part of a team, and so for that reason, 8 brings with it like a lot of my own grief, but an equal amount of surrender and gratitude, and so it has been a really beautiful process and a redemptive process, and I think a really healthy process. Like all of the relationships are so good, but yeah, just it's been a lot.
Too much for the souls of men, but somehow you hold it all upon the cross. Calvary's enough. Calvary's enough. When I know nothing, when I know too much, what I choose to know right now is Calvary's enough.
When you started your career, you were Brooke Fraser, and now you're Brooke Ligertwood, which I do want to apologize because I think I've never said your name right until this moment.
You just nailed it. That was fantastic. And honestly, I never take offense because it's a crazy name. It's a crazy name. I get people get all the points just for trying, you know.
Well, I do want to give a shout out to your team because they put like a pronunciation when they sent over.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I was like, and I really thought back. I was like, yeah, I've never said it that way.
So fun.
But I just want to, you've had a solo career before. You worked with a team, and now you're a solo again. How does like Brooke Fraser's career compare to Brooke Ligertwood?
Great question. It's I guess it's like very different, and also in some ways very similar. So I guess and the fun thing is that kind of Brooke Fraser. I think this is still a secret. Maybe it's not. It won't be a secret for much longer. But I'm actually going to do some more Brooke Fraser things next year, which is like a little bit crazy. So, but fun, but really fun things. And so that's still going. So I'm still with kind of my whole Brooke Fraser team and now we've been working together for like 20 years, which is pretty fun. So when you have relationships that are that kind of deep in, there's just such a comfort to that. Like there's a knowing, you know each other, you trust each other. And then kind of my team, who I have the great honor of working with now, are just like absolutely fire. And the way that the Lord has kind of assembled us all together, particularly one of my senior team member, a guy called Dom. We've been friends for many, many years, just through ministry. So it's just, honestly, I just get to kind of do this with my friends, which is the best part. And so it's similar in that there's just there's a lot of love, there's a lot of trust, obviously kind of very different things, but it's pretty cool. And I also appreciate now that kind of what I can bring to I guess getting to offer songs of worship to the church as myself. I don't know, I've always been myself, but you know what I mean. I kind of, there's just a lot of things that I learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes. Hopefully I learned from those mistakes, and there's just a calm that comes as well, because I'm also not trying to build anything. Like I'm not trying to build Brooke Ligertwood. I'm not trying to build like a touring thing or anything. I just, because at this point it's just obedience. It's just like, Lord, what do you want? And if he says 8's it, then that's fine. Like whatever. I'll go and keep baking or whatever. Or just keep reading. I'll become a full-time reader. I'll become a librarian. I'll do something else. But I've always said, like, I don't mind what I do for the Lord. I'll do whatever he wants. I'm not, I wrote a song about it a few years ago called New Wine. Like I don't want to cling to my idea of how I think God will use me. I want him to use me however he wants to. And that's ultimately also the place where I'll find the most fulfillment and satisfaction, is when I'm right in the center of his will. So rather than me trying to tell him what his will for me is, like just actually being a person of inquiry. I love that about David in the Bible. Like he made a ton of stuff up and was not a perfect man, but he had a heart after God. And I think that one of the beautiful ways we can see that about throughout his life is that he never stopped inquiring of the Lord. And I just made that decision a long time ago, and it's something that I'm committed to. I just always want to, I never want to assume what the Lord wants. I want to always ask him, what do you think about this, Lord? What do you want? And he's usually pretty good at putting up a giant red flag or a wall or a green light or opening a door or a window, and he's just really faithful in the way that he leads us. So life with Jesus, crazy fun.
That was Brooke Ligertwood. Make sure to check out her fifth album, 8. No, I don't know. I was just kidding. Her album's called 8. I'm assuming it's her 8th album. It's out now. It's out today. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback. You're listening to Oliver Tree. The song is With You. Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by the new book, Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic. Author Jonathan Seidel knows firsthand how even believers can get stuck in shame and destructive habits, especially when it comes to one of society's biggest obsessions, alcohol. In Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic, he details his spiral into disordered drinking and shares the 4-step process he eventually used to break free. There's hope for alcoholics who become Christians and for Christians who become alcoholics. Find Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic wherever books are sold. What if you could change a child's life with just $10? Right now, thousands of vulnerable children in East Africa are suffering from jiggers. It's a painful, preventable parasite that burrows into their feet. Soul Hope is the only organization treating it through foot washing, medical care, and durable closed-toed shoes that protect kids long after treatment. $10 may not seem like much in today's world, but when we come together, those small gifts add up to big change. Join the 10 for 10 campaign. $10 protects 10 small toes. Visit soulhope.org/10 to give now. One small gift makes a big difference. Again, that's soulhope, SOLE, hope.org/TEN. Little point of correction, little editor's note. Emily informed us during the break that that was 8 is Brooke Ligertwood's second solo album. So nowhere close to 8.
It's girl math. I think that's what it is.
Girl math. I like it.
All right.
We'll take it.
It's time for your feedback. Last week, we got talking about like growing up in the church. Marty and Derek and me and Jesse and Emily too. Your church experience was as weird. It sounded way more boring than ours. But we grew up. What?
I mean,
we went to Pentecostal churches. You went to a Baptist church.
Say it like that.
Ours was more entertaining, if nothing else. How's that?
Hey, look, y'all churches was dry. That's what we used to say. That the Baptist churches is dry. We not gonna dry church. Our church,
right.
ain't no telling what was gonna happen.
Wait.
Yeah, that's real talk. When you get the more non you get in the non-denominational, the more of a wild card every Sunday is.
The more room you leave for the Spirit opens up doors for the foolish.
I did think of y'all the other day because I went home to my parents and they still go. I think they technically go to a Bible church. It's a Baptist church, same thing. And I was dying because I was watching my phone and it was getting close to noon and the pastor was still going. It was like 11:55 and I was like, oh, no way we're getting out at noon. That's fine. I don't care. I go to a church where we don't do that. At 11:58, this pastor goes, well, I have 2 more points to make, but I have to wrap it up now. And he just cut it short and like prayed right there. And I was like, oh, it hit me. I was like, oh, I am in a Baptist church. Like we have to be out by noon. Like that's when church is over. And I think maybe 12:02 we were out, but I was like,
Hard stops.
It
hard
was.
outs.
I've just never heard a pastor hour be like, "Well,
Man.
didn't get to it."
Charismatic churches let the Spirit move, man.
Yeah,
I
I
got
was
those 2
like-
more points, and then the Holy Spirit's going to give me 6 more.
open
and then
ended.
we're going to go when the Holy Spirit's done. You know what I'm
It
saying? We're
was
not getting out of 12.
Shocking.
Anyway, so we were talking about our experiences growing up, church quirks, and she put a note. Emily put a note in the rundown right here. So she gave us the feedback document, and she said, "Here's what the question of the week was," and then she wrote
I wanted to give context in case we forgot.
for me to remember how we got to that question, right? And here's her note. We spent an insanely long amount of time talking about things our churches used to do that we look back on as silly or funny. An insanely long time, Emily.
I remember it being close to half
We
an
let the
hour.
Holy Spirit move. We let that conversation go until the Holy Spirit was
Listen,
done.
you can take the girl out of the Baptist church. You can't take the Baptist
This
church
ain't
out
no
of the
Baptist
girl.
podcast. This is a non-denominational Pentecostal podcast.
So you guys hit us up, and here's a few of our favorite replies.
First off, these are dark. I'm gonna tell
you say?
I'm gonna tell you Marcus Looney. So he says, "There's nothing like a '90s black church men's day. One Sunday, all 7 husbands would march and 2-step their way from the entrance of the church to the pulpit, where they would either sing a selection of their choice or it would awkwardly end, and everyone would take their seats."
Wait, 90s Black Church had Men's Day?
Yeah, we had the men's day for sure.
Did you have Women's Day too?
Yeah, you had men's day, you had women's day, you would have the day where the youth would lead service.
Yeah.
We went through a season of that. It didn't really work out for long, but yeah, we would do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we had definitely.
Was it like
Day for sure.
Father's Day?
No, it's like men's day. It's where the men are in. Like the men are like they're doing everything. Like, you know, the men's choir is singing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like there's no women in the choir, it's just all the men are singing, and usually the songs are like, you know, just different. Yeah, for
Very
sure.
baritone.
Yeah, very
very
baritone-ish. Yeah. So that really for me was the biggest thing that would distinguish it. It's just the choirs would change out. So, you know, you have the same pastor or whatever, but the youth on youth day, Sunday, you had a youth choir come in. We come sing a couple songs and then, you know, go back and do what we're going to do. I don't know if that was at every black church. Like this thing about the people 2-stepping and stuff, we never did that, but that might have just been Marcus's church. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like somebody was pledging the black fraternity. Like,
Yeah, I know, right? It was
like Kappa or
You
something.
seen those lines, the Kappa, the old man just doing the yeah. I watched those on loop.
He might have got mixed up with like church and then like when he was pledging, but you know, we don't know.
Mixed together.
Anna grew up in a house church. She had a couple quirks, but I like this one. They were accepting of many theologies, so they always had 2 types of communion. One with unleavened communion bread, the other with regular homemade white bread. The benefit of that is they got to eat that after the church was over because homemade white bread is really, really good. You know, it's like if someone brings Martin potato rolls in, you know, they're getting eaten at some point.
Yeah. Okay. So Adam Davis said back in the late 90s and early 2000s, it seemed pretty common for a church to bust out I Believe I Can Fly by R. Kelly. And again, since I was an infant, I need y'all to confirm, is that actually a thing that happened? And also, was that a Christian song? I'm trying to remember it, and I don't.
No, it was,
It was his
Jam.
inspirational
Space Jam,
song.
for sure.
Okay.
It was from the film.
I remember I went to a church in the early 2000s. It was predominantly black, and there was one service where they were honoring a couple of the remaining members of the Tuskegee Airmen. And so they were on the front row, and we went to honor them, bring them up, and let them share for a minute. And when they were coming up, they played "I Believe I Can Fly," and then when the service ended, that's the song that was playing as you left the sanctuary was "I Believe I Can Fly." And I had the same thought that Adam did. This ain't a Christian song, and that man is not a Christian. Like, we knew about R. Kelly.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask you, because he goes on to say, like, I liked Space Jam as much as any millennial, but should we really be playing music from a habitual predator in a house of worship? I didn't really know much about R. Kelly until the last couple of years when his trial happened. Was it like a known
we
thing?
Knew. No, yeah. There was tapes leaking and
there
stuff.
was like
we knew.
a Chappelle sketch dating back a decade and a half, probably. It was like an open secret.
No, Chappelle was like 304.
Not during I Believe I Could Fly though. That wasn't out with.
No, that was late 90s.
So this was a couple years after that.
So during Space Jam, like honestly, Space
We didn't know
Jam,
then.
Dark Knight, R. Kelly, you didn't start getting that until you got 2002. Like
That's right.
internet started exposing
Putting it
people.
together.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
I mean, you're talking 03, 02, 04, or like 2003, 2004. That's when all the stuff about R. Kelly started coming out, and you started hearing less Space Jam in the church.
And
So,
like the tapes started leaking, the videos and stuff, and
so
it's like, oh,
I think this guy's
dude's-
looking in retrospect, but he's not in context in the sense that
That's what
during
I was
that time
like.
he was just R. Kelly, but he still was.
But even-
he's sexually explicit in his lyrics, you
Right,
know,
Right.
But it wasn't like let me put my key in your ignition explicit. Like it wasn't like crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait. Yes, it was.
Was
I mean,
it?
this song, dude.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Anyhow, this is another thing too. Just letting y'all know. I don't know about what it is, how everywhere else, but y'all know this as far as church is concerned. If a person does something positive and it reaches a high level, everybody's adopting it, Christian or non-Christian.
It'll be celebrated.
They're
Yeah,
gonna celebrate it.
that's right.
But I know in a black church, we just be happy that somebody ain't out doing nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, he did something positive. Let's celebrate that. It's almost like R. Kelly for me growing up was like our ghetto little cousin that came to church on Sunday. We gonna give him a chance to, tell his little truth. You know what I mean? But after a while with R. Kelly, it was like, all right, bro, we got to. I don't know what we can't do nothing with this, man. You tripping, bro.
I remember I saw a video last week going around of early days of D'Angelo performing in church, playing the piano, and they prayed over him. They're like, Michael, I guess his name's Michael. Michael just got a record deal, and he's going to be out there singing R&B music, and we just want to pray God's anointing on him. And, and he was in his suit, and he was singing worship at the piano and gospel stuff. And I was like, D'Angelo's music wasn't church friendly.
Man,
but,
look, you can't name many R&B artists in the early 90s and
didn't grow up
2000s that didn't start in church.
Absolutely.
Like you're just not gonna name them. I mean, I
And
wouldn't
a lot
even
of that
say that. I
came
mean,
through
go
in the
all the way
music,
back to Motown. Like those guys were starting in church. You know what I'm saying?
Aretha,
everybody. They started in church. So it's unique. You're like, man, I wish they were still using their gift, but that's still our little nephews and nieces. We just happy that they doing good, baby. We wish they changed them lyrics, but baby, we just so happy that you doing good. Come on back home to church every now and again when you get a chance.
Right.
If that's how it is, it's like that. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, there's more where that came from. Go check it out. You guys had a lot of church quirks growing up too. Good to know we're not alone. All right. It's time for this week's
Editorial question of the week. Hey.
All right. Well, normally we like to connect the question of the week to something that happened on the show, but not this week because it's the month of Nate Bargatze, otherwise known as Halloween spooky season. So we got Halloween coming up, and every year we do like an article listicle on the website of kind of like cheap, funny, timely, pop culture-y costume ideas or funny ideas of costumes. This show coming out, if you listen to it when we released it, it's coming out on October 20th, which means we will be reading these replies on October 27th. So what we want from you is your funny, creative, topical, timely, DIY, whatever it is, Halloween costume ideas, whether it's couples, individual. Hit us up, and we're going to read the most creative replies on next week's show.
These Christians ain't finna turn no costumes in. They too Christian for that.
No, that's not true. I remember, man, one year, never underestimate the creativity of broke college kids, man. Because like there was one year, one guy was like out there. I went to Dollar Tree and got a big bag of purple balloons, blew them up, taped them all over my body, and went as a bunch of grapes.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's brilliant. He did his whole costume for $1.
genius.
One year I had to
There you
have
go.
2 Halloween costumes for college because it was like, I think we had a college party and there was also like the fall fest and I wanted them to be different. And I used the same shirt for both of them in just like different ways because I was like, I can barely afford one costume. I got to be able to use this for 2.
Yeah.
There you go.
College students figure it out.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what we want. We want your funny, innovative DIY costume
And it's got to
ideas.
be more
so
than
we
just Barbenheimer stuff, okay? Like, we want some
Yeah.
deep pop culture cuts.
I'm expecting a lot of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce this year.
Well, how about, do we put the kibosh? No Barbie, no Taylor Swift.
But there has to be a twist on it.
Yeah.
If you're doing it,
Right.
next level
Right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, next level it. Cool. All right, hit us up on Twitter/X at Relevant Podcast or at Relevant everywhere else, and we'll read our favorites on next week's show. Well, before we wrap things up, we want to thank Brooke Ligertwood for joining us today. Make sure to grab her brand new second solo album, 8. It's out today. Look at that timing. And there's a lot more of that conversation to come, dear listener. Don't fret. We'll bring it to you in some very interesting ways. But yeah, there's more to come with Brooke. Also, make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every weekday where we're covering the intersection of faith, culture, and everything in between. Make sure to follow us on all the socials to get the latest. And if you just want the best of the best content, head over to the website and sign up for our daily newsletter. We send you our top 5 trending stories right to your inbox every weekday morning. Oh, also, make sure to check out Relevant Plus. It's the best way to experience our content. You get this podcast ad-free, as well as ad-free unlimited reading at the website, enhanced digital magazine, exclusive podcasts, and more. Plans start as low as $250 a month, and we'd love the support. I think you'll like it. Okay, on that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Derek Miner.
I'm Emily Brown.
We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Can you say one nice thing about me?
Relevant Podcast Network.